Well, that was probably a little unexpected, wasn't it? I found a box of film for my Fujifilm 500 AF the other day. Decided to see if it still worked. I did a video about this in 2012 if you want to see it. Instant camera. Just playing around here, mixing it up a little. Alright, for today's video, we're going to look at the three main GE Superadios. What's commonly known as the 1, although it didn't really become the 1 until the 2 came out. The 2 and the 3. I did a complete video about the 1 a couple of years ago, so I'm not going to look at it too much. All three of these we're just going to make sort of general comparisons. We're not going to do complete band scans or anything. But a couple of weeks ago there had been an old hoarder junk store locally for years and years, and it had been closed for a long time, and they kind of had an estate sale in the store, and it was something to see. I wish I'd taken some video of it, but I didn't think about it. And I was able to get the 2 and the 3 for $3 a piece. Now they're not in perfect condition. The 3 has some paint spots on it, and the 2 is missing the tip of its antenna, but still for $3 a piece I couldn't pass them up. So we're going to kind of compare all of them today. I haven't seen anything on YouTube where all these three are side by side. I know there's individual videos out there that cover these in great lengths, so I'll leave that to those people and you to find those videos and enjoy the complete details. We're just sort of compare them cosmetically and a little bit of radio tuning here today. I think first we'll do the 1 and 2 side by side, because they're the closest in appearance, and the 3 is dramatically different, as you can see. All right, we'll start by looking at the 1 and the 2 side by side. The 1 is the 7-2880A, and the 2 is the 7-2885F. I think the 1 is from 1979, if I remember right from my earlier video. And I'm dating the 2 at 1991 based on information I saw in the battery compartment. They look pretty much similar, although the knobs are black on the 1 and the little switches are gray plastic. On the 2, the knob faces are chrome, as are the switches. Of course, the 2 has a small tweeter in it. The 1 does not. This one says General Electric. This was General Electric Superadio II. So really this wasn't the Superadio 1 until the Superadio II came out. The grill work is a little different on them, but other than that, most of the cabinet looks similar. Well, this is gray plastic, and that's chrome. All right, they have antennas at the top. They both have earphone jacks around the back, on the side I mean. They do have handles. Alright, on the back, the 1 only has 2 battery compartment clips. The 2 has 3 battery compartment clips. And the 1 is made in Hong Kong, and the 2 is made in China. And the 2 has external antenna connections, 300 ohm AM and ground. Now my version of the 1 does not have external antenna connections. Mine's the A suffix. There was a B suffix that did have external antenna connections, but I do not have that. I think the ones without external antenna connections were very early models. Okay, I've got both of the radios set on the same station. AFC on, we're on FM. I don't have the antennas on either one of them up because since the 2 is missing its tip, it might be at a disadvantage. So we're going to get the reception with both antennas down. Treble and bass set in the middle position, and we'll just turn the volume up to the mid position too, and See which one sounds better.
So I had a thought about the Crew Car Wash Father's Day sale.
What's that?
Well, it pretty much makes Crew Car Wash synonymous with happy.
The one?
You can get 2 free, right? Say I buy some for my dad.
Right. Happy Father's Day.
Or for my mom.
Happy belated Mother's Day.
Or for my nephew who's graduating.
2.
Happy preschool graduation.
Even just stock up for myself and use them all year.
1.
Happy. And it all leads back to Crew Car Wash.
2.
Now through fun.
2. I think the 1 has a deeper sound. The tweeter on the 2 obviously is giving us something, but I'm not sure I like it. I suppose it's a matter of individual preference, but I thought the 1 sounded better. Although there could be individual things going wrong many years later in the electronics on one or the other, so. But I did like the 1 better on FM. Let's set up for an AM test. We'll start with both the radios on the same station on AM. Of course, AFC doesn't matter. And we'll have all our switches set in the middle. We'll start with the 1.
With the free throw shooting would have gotten better over the years. And it's one of the few apples to apples comparisons you can make over time, because it's just
Of course, we're just going to be restricted to sports probably, or talk. I don't get music on AM very often.
This notion guys just got to get better at shooting free throws actually isn't borne out by the data. That bad free throws.
I'm getting some hum there on 2.
In a league of 400.
Some on 1 too.
Some bad free throw shooters. And lastly, I get for some don't have DeAndre Jordan, if you don't have Dwight Howard.
I don't know if there's a big difference on either one. But of course the thing about the Superadio was they were supposed to pull in distant channels too. Usually the lowest channel I can get on most of my radios is around 700. That's Cincinnati, a couple hundred miles from here. So let's see how these do side by side on that.
Because once again, those guys are still going.
8484.
Have the man...
Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 7516. Keep is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Hey, I'm the future you.
Okay, so the 1 pulls it in.
Foul and the possession, or you do 3 free.
I used up.
What about gut?
I'm from the. Please drink responsibly.
QL1, this is Control. Does Rocket Mortgage require me to come in and speak with someone? Negative.
And the
Control.
2 gets
Rocket
it.
Mortgage by Quicken Loans. You can go through the entire mortgage process on your own and completely online. Copy that, QL1. But if I wanted to speak to someone, do you think they're out there? They're out there, all right.
Let's see if the 2 can go farther down.
This is beyond anything I've ever experienced.
Sure that the guys will participate in All-Star Game and make it worth something.
We're mid-morning here today.
It's a secret frickin' court on Americans. Now,
The average loan is for $375. Rolls over into new loans for $5.
That's true. For more upstream ideas...
Well, I got about a half dozen channels I usually don't get. Stations, maybe. Let's see what the 1 can do.
Telethon at number 1 Jake Sweeney Chevrolet.
it's great. You know, if we don't go shopping...
Within 6 months, he shut down.
Well, I got several channels on the 1 too, but it's a little hard for me to remember, but I think the 2 gave more distant channels than the 1. I don't know if that could be something as simple as their location on the bench here. I'm not sure if that would make a difference. But they're both better performers than most all of my other AM radios. All right, starting our look at the Superadio III. It's physically dramatically different than the 1 or 2, and from reading it's dramatically different inside too with the electronics. The tweeter has been moved to the upper left. The General Electric badge has been changed to GE. There's some additional badging along the top with the power button, which is in about the same spot. Our dials are black with a chrome surround, and they're numbered 0 to 10. The 1 and the 2 did not have those numberings. We have some chrome switches here, band selector, AM, FM, and on FM you have AFC on or off. And on AM you have a wide and normal switch. If you're on a strong AM station and you put this on wide, you could get reception pretty equivalent to an FM station. Not stereo, but just about as good as an FM station. These are not stereo radios, neither AM or FM. The tuning dial looks a little different, and the tuning knob has been moved to the right. And there's our typical earphone jack. On the back, pretty much the same with our antenna connectors, and this one, the 3, is made in China. I don't think it's an unattractive radio at all. I kind of like it. If I'm going to have 3, I guess one of them could look a little different than the others. So let's set up to do some listening. All right, starting our performance comparison. Here's the Superadio III, and I'm going to compare it with the Superadio I, pretty much because the 1 has its antenna intact. And I'm just going to raise the antennas. I'm not going to extend them, but that'll be equal because, like I say, the 2 is missing the tip of its antenna. So we'll start with an FM test. Here's the Superadio III on the channel. So you can hear there is slight differences. I'm not going to mess with the treble or bass on either one of these. I kind of think the 3 sounds better. That's just me, but I know a lot of people diss the 3, but I kind of liked it on the FM. And I'm not doing a band scan, but all across the dial, it's about the same. They're both excellent performers. I happen to seem to like the sound quality of the 3 a little better. Maybe that's because of the tweeter, I don't know. But let's pull up an AM station and check out the wideband performance with the 3. All right, we're going to try an AM station here. Unfortunately, I just cannot find any good thing with music that might show the wide versus normal in the 3 better than talk, but that's what we have to go with. So, here's the Superadio I.
Or an all-star game. So I hope they get it done. 2019 is probably the earliest, unless they decide to move that next year's all-star game in Charlotte, and they've got all kind of issues there right now. Quick timeout. Greg Doyle coming up in just a moment. We're back after this.
This morning, we were all just guys sharing an office.
You think they saw us? No, we're good.
And Brian was just a guy who worked in our HR department.
I'm making a run for it. You wouldn't make it?
Yep. This morning, our biggest worry was running out of the little cups for the water cooler.
Yeah, I think it's clear. Wait! Cover me! Brian, wait!
Now we have to rely on each other to succeed.
I got this. Brian!
Together we stand.
Brian, watch out!
I can hear a difference here, but you probably can't. Yeah, I can hear the difference a little bit, but you probably can. I suspect back in the day when there was music on AM, it probably was a better feature than it is now. But let's scroll down the band here and see how far they go.
70 and 465.
TVX.
I'm Miguel WLS.
And have a valid driver.
We know how far the 1 went because we did it in comparison with the 2.
Roof number 1. Advantage Roofing. Trusted, reliable, recommended.
Friends don't let friends plead guilty.
That'll be Cincinnati.
Criminal defense attorney.
And everything from down here is extra now.
We could make good and effective gun control laws that don't interfere with people's right to bear arms.
Well, I only heard about 2 extra channels, whereas the 1 and the 2 both got about 6 below 700 kilohertz, which is sort of my benchmark for distance. So the Superadio III is not as sensitive as the 1 or the 2. Before we stop this, I'm going to switch to FM for a minute. Let's see, we'll put both the AFCs on and we'll switch to FM. Make sure the volumes are down here. And let me find a station here. Wanted to test the bass and treble controls. Let me pull up the same channel here on the 3.
It's 103 minutes commercial free. Alt 1033.
Well, the bass and treble controls definitely work. I'm pretty much a middle of the dial kind of listener, to tell you the truth. Rarely do I do anything fancy with bass and treble. So that's the 1 versus the 3.
And All-American Rejects. Todd's got your hookup on those tickets tomorrow, 6:10 a.m.
Link 182, Alt 1033, Indies Alternative.
Well, that's the GE Superadio series 1 through 3. Quick demonstration. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye.